All right, so here we go. So this is my current rig that I use at church. I brought it home. I normally just leave it there, but I brought it home, to kind of do some tweaking. Sometimes I like to just kind of mess around, come up with some new sounds. But I thought it'd be a cool video to kind of show you kind of how I have everything set up. So I've got this, I think it's an 8-space rack. I had a patch bay built that has everything in the front, so I basically can leave the back panel or the back cover on. So when I actually put my rig in it's a speaker isolation cabinet isolation thing, so I don't have to get to the back of it, which is awesome. Yeah, so everything plugs in the front. So I got power right here. I added MIDI up front here just because I had space for it. So I got 2 1/4" if I want to go 1/4" if I need to. Usually go XLR out. And then I added also an iOS. So I've got an iPhone charger plugged in that's kind of terminates out here, so I can plug in my iPhone. Things like that. Let's see. Oh, yeah, so then it's the USB for the Kemper. So if I want to use Rig Manager, all I have to do is plug it right into the front there. So again, I don't have to get into the back at all, ever, and I love it. And then this RJ45, so that basically goes to my pedal board. Got 2 H9s kind of in here. Of course, got the Kemper. I've got the Line 6G 90, which I love. I've done A/B tests with the cable and I can't tell a difference. So, then you go up here, and in the back, on the back lid, I basically riveted some aluminum strips, and so all these are mounted. So basically, I just mount this. I just basically close the lid, put this on the back, and I don't have to get into it, but for the purpose of this video, I'm going to basically kind of go through all these and show you kind of what's what. So just to kind of briefly go through what's in here: Echoplex preamp, Octave OC5 Boss. I got a JHS Morning Glory, Brown Amplification Protein, Jackson Audio Bloom. This is a MIDI converter. It basically takes MIDI and has a TRS out, and it's intended to control this Jackson Audio, but it can control anything that does MIDI over TRS. I don't have it set up right now. And then of course Origin Effects Revival Drive, which is my favorite drive pedal, bar none, that I've ever had. And then this guy here, I found a guy on Facebook that builds these MIDI, basically it's a MIDI switcher for the Revival Drive, so I can basically switch between the 2 sides and also kick in and out the mid boost feature. And then there's something else that it does, I can't remember, but that's what I use it for. All right. And then, so controlling everything, I've got this pedal board here. It's Temple Audio board. And on it, I've got 4 expression pedals and a Mastermind GT22. Why 4 expression pedals? Well, this is why. I like having just one preset. I just want one preset. I don't want, to have to program a preset with this particular delay setting. And then another one with this particular reverbs. I just don't want to get into all that. I like mixing stuff kind of on the fly, which is basically what this allows me to do. So this first one here is for volume, wah, that kind of thing. This one is for delay mix. So heel position, no delay, and then 50% delay. This one here is for reverb mix. So either no reverb or just some reverb in the heel, and then really wet in the toe. And then this one is basically dedicated for for one of the H9s. So whatever H9 effect I'm using, that one kind of controls that. Now the delays are usually coming from the H9, so technically this is an H9 one dedicated to the delay one. Reverbs always come from the Kemper, and then the wah sometimes can come from the H9 or from the Kemper. Of course, you know, the volume is just the expression. Here, so the way I have this set up, I use one preset. Like I said, I've got two here. Sometimes I just have to go out and back in to reset things if something gets kind of squirrely. It doesn't happen often, but sometimes I just do that, just kind of reset things. So I've got tap tempo right here, revival drive on and off, go between the low gain, high gain side of that, and then that's the revival boost, the mid boost on and off. I usually have that just on because it sounds so good with it on. And then to go to cleaner tones, I use the blue side of the protein. And then if I want to kick in some gain while I'm on the protein, versus switching, because the way this is set up is that if I'm using the protein, I'm bypassing the revival drive. So, and vice versa. So if I want gain, then I'll kick into Morning Glory. And this gives me a similar amount of gain as the high gain on the revival drive. But it's a little different flavor. Some H9 effects here. This is, of course, the Kemper. There's a boost there. Rotary on the Kemper. These are, of course, two presets. H9 effect, H9 effect. And then what I did too, the Mastermind is so awesome, man. It's so, I hadn't even scratched the surface really. The tuner, you know, is cool. So I see the Kemper tuner here. If I need to tune. Here you can set one button to cycle through up to four different things. So the way that I use this one, instead of it cycling, you know, without giving me an option to push on one or the other, you can do it this way as well. So if I want a tape delay, I don't have to dedicate one, you know, to tape delay, one to vintage delay. I can just have this one button, push it, and then it gives me my four different delay options that I want. So I want tape delay. So then it switches the H9 to a tape delay preset. And then this one here lets me choose the amount of feedback. So I can go from just 1 repeat, 6 repeats, 8 repeats, and 10 repeats. So that's kind of what that does. And then similarly, I've got these two dedicated for more H9 presets. So I've got 4 here, 4 more here, which I've got to rename because it reset somehow. So that it saves me from having to go to another screen, which you can also do, which is what I used to do. So this said more H9 effects. I'd hit that and then I'd be able to get to a lot. I had like a preset, one button or one switch dedicated for each preset till I figured out that I could do this and have 4 for 1. So that saved me having to go out of this main screen to the other screen. And that's kind of how I use that. I won't go too deep into it. This pedal right here, if you watch this guy right there, that's basically turns that on and off. Sometimes there's like some songs where it's like like one little riff with a rotary effect, and then I turn it off. That's kind of, at least last weekend, that's kind of what I used it for. I can program this to change, to do anything, but that's currently what it's doing right now. This one kind of fluctuates between a tap tempo, and then also some auxiliary kind of freeze effects. And again, it just depends on my mood and what songs we have going on. What I do like to use is reverse delay when I hit a note. So this one's dedicated to one of the H9s for any of the auxiliary effects. So if I do the vibrachorus or the chopper effect or a chorus, this will either control the mix of it or like the speed of the chopper effect, or if I have a rotary kind of effect, it will control the rotary speed, which is actually what I use this for too also. But in this case, I usually have by default, I usually keep it on reverse delay, and then when we end a song, I'll hit a chord and then push it all the way to the toe position, and it gives like a nice fade, long fade. Or if I hit a note and I want it to fade out, it's cooler than doing a freeze delay because it reverses it, so it gives it kind of a really cool. So I've got the delay and the reverse delay, and it just gives like a really nice pad almost kind of feel, and it just kind of gradually fades out. So that's what I use that for. So man, let's get into some sounds. See how this thing sounds. Alright, so let's go through some sounds, and let's start out with the clean. So this is kind of my stock. This is what it sounds like completely dry. So no reverb, reverb all the way to the heel, delay to the heel, and nothing on the H9, and of course, you know, volume. So so no sound. A little bit of ambient reverb on there, very, very low. So it's never completely dry. So what this is the bloom. Bloom's always on. It's a very, very minor compression. And the blue side of the protein. Of course, neck position. And that is with the humbucker split. This is the humbucker, the full humbucker. It's not clean, it's not pristine clean, but when I pick lightly, so I'm bringing some reverb. So of course this third pedal from the right is reverb mix, so I'll gradually bring it in. It's about midway. That's kind of usually, that's a lot of times that's where that'll live, kind of like midway. Praise and worship stuff, you gotta have reverb and delay. Go to the bridge pickup. mid. On the Kemper, this reverb is a natural reverb for you Kemper fans out there. So now the reverb's all the way to the toe position, so it's gonna be really wet. So that's the protein. Middle position. No reverb. A little bit. So I can't coil tap the bridge pickup, so it just sounds. That's why it brings in a little more aggression when you're in the middle position. And if I want, this has a boost on it, the Valentine. So if I push the volume knob, it gives me a 20 dB boost. I don't think I have it set to 20. It goes from like, I think 4 to 20. Might have it all the way up. I can't remember. But there's a trim pot on the back and the inside that you can adjust it to how much boost you want. So this is without it. Just gives it a little, it's really awesome for if you just want just a little more sustain, a little more gain. Just push that sucker in. So that's the protein. I'll leave it on the protein for now. We'll just kind of go through the, so if I want to add, so delay, right now it's set to digital delay with 1 repeat. And that's not 1 repeat. Sometimes I have to cycle through. There we go. So then if I hit this button here, it goes to 6 repeats, which is, yeah, it's almost 6. Goes to 8. Just a little bit longer. But you know, too many repeats, it starts getting kind of mushy. This is 10 repeats. Digital delay. So as I mentioned, I basically just hit this button here, and now I can choose between digital, tape, vintage, or a filter pong, which I'm not sure that that's actually a filter pong. But so if I go to tape delay, so you can hear the modulation. Back to digital. So that's what's really cool, is I don't have to have, I gotta have another preset with a different delay. I can just do it on the fly as I'm playing if I don't like it while I'm playing it. Great thing about the way this is set up. So that's a digital, or a tape delay. This is vintage delay, which is basically like an analog delay. See how it degrades the repeats. One repeat. So there's like a filter setting on that you can set to affect the repeats and how much it decays and degrades with each repeat. Gain, I hit the Morning Glory. Bring in some reverb. Reverb, turn off the delay. I want to bring in a little bit more delay. So that's what the Morning Glory sounds like with the protein. As I was saying earlier with the so right now by default one of the H9s is set to reverse delay, that you can gradually bring the mix in on. So if we're ending a song, you know, and I'm just hitting a chord, just kind of back out. And just kind of let it trail out. It's kind of cool, especially for single note stuff. So if I'm playing like a lead line, it's just kind of cool because then it, you know, if it's just like the singer and acoustic guitar, it just kind of has like a nice little decay, longer decay. All right, so let's go to the revival drive. The low gain setting sounds like this. Just do a little bit of reverb. I love the way this sounds with the neck pickup. Makes this guitar sound real versatile. Sounds like a nice stratty neck pickup. You know, versus the protein. Real similar. This is with the revival with boost on. Let me turn the revival boost off. Revival boost on. Very subtle. More pronounced with the bridge pickup. protein. Just a little different flavor. Sometimes, I just pick and choose whichever one's sounding good in my ears at the moment. But they sound different when you stack the Morning Glory onto it. So this is the Revival with the Morning Glory. This is the Protein with the Morning Glory. It's almost a little hairier in it. Revival. That's Protein. So turn the Morning Glory off. So this is back at the Revival drive with the Revival boost. Revival high gain. I'll play with a ton of gain. I just like just enough. So that's the Revival drive high gain. The Protein with the Morning Glory. It's a little bit different flavor. I just love the the Revival drive. I just love it. Sounds great. So those are my gain kind of choices. So from clean, mid to heavier gain. And then of course, the high gain Revival, I can still add the Morning Glory if I want. You hear the noise. A little too noisy for me. So, little verb. Some of the effects, like this rotary, so like that's why I like having this switch right here for kind of auxiliary things that I want to just kick in and out. I could set it for momentary, should probably be smart. So I wouldn't have to hit it twice. I could just put my foot on it, which I can do easily with the Mastermind. I mean, it's insane everything that you can do. It's incredible. Some other effects would be like this chopper effect, which is kind of cool. And then this last expression pedal here lets me control the mix of it, so I can that's the cool thing about having that mix control there. This vibra chorus is kind of cool. It's almost kind of like a chopper effect, but it's got more of a tremolo. So the effects so the preset is set with the mix at 50%, and then so when I hit it initially, it's going to be at 50%. Generally, that's where I want it for whatever effect that I'm trying to do. I mean, something like that is more for like volume swells. So if I want something really wet. Stuff like that, or even the chopper effect as well. Let's see, what other effects? Let's see. Owner of a lonely. Again, control the mix of it. Let's see, what other effects we got? Let's see. Just a whammy effect. Let's go to some more effects here. That's a decent wah on the H9. This is a it's basically a flanger. This is an octave. So that's the Leslie on the H9. Sounds pretty good. So the Leslie on the H9, this expression pedal controls the rotary speed. I like that rotary better than the Kemper, actually. So that's just a plate reverb that I have set up. Alright, so the Boss OC5. We're done. With the OC5 is there's a setting on there. I don't have it set to this, but where there's like a threshold that you can set to where it only gives you the octave on the higher strings and not the lower strings. So your lower strings, like if you're doing kind of like a rhythmic thing in the lower strings, it doesn't get real muddy, but then you get the octave on the up on the higher strings when you're playing lead. It's really cool. Track's really great. That's the thing I love about it. So polyphonic, so maybe it's that. Go to a tape delay. So that's really the extent of everything. I mean, it's very basic when you really get, I mean, there's a lot going on, but it's, as far as controlling everything, it's not as crazy as you'd think it would be. You know, so any given song, it's just a matter of, I got to know how much delay I want going in, and then I can adjust it if it's either too much or too little, and then how much reverb. Yeah, and how much gain, I guess, obviously. So. See with the filter pump, I think it's like a slap out. I guess it's kind of like a really quick slap. Anyway, guess I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.